the Reddit famous 2020 tea cake. Now, what is the 2020 tea cake? The 2020 tea cake, wow, that is a beautiful, beautiful day today. I hope in all the various things that we're doing, it pops out in the background there and you can see it. It looks absolutely gorgeous back there. The mountains, all that stuff. Anyways, the 2020 tea cake, 2022 tea cake. What was the 2022 tea cake? It was a tea cake that I got at the tea show last year, and it tasted like coconuts. And I put it on the site and I gave it to some people, and some people were like, "Oh, that's interesting." Some people were like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad." And then a couple people went, "Oh my God, that is the best tea I've ever had in my life." And then they posted about it on Reddit. And there was this big long post on Reddit, and so all these people on Reddit, they talked about it. And we're going to see. We're going to see. So what happened? Well, this is the same guy. This is an experimental tea. This is the same guy that does that did this tea cake, and he's doing the purple bud tea cake, and he also has this tea right here. So this is my sample. You can see here the Bisai Ta Bean or Ta. Anyways, that. So that's this tea right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to sample these teas side by side, and we're going to see whether or not it is worthwhile putting it on the site. Now, today, I was actually quite happy because one of my very, 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 very good tea friends, they had a birthday, and they received their tea. And they had a birthday and they received their tea, and they were able to report back. I still have the original. It's so unique and delicious. Well, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I can replace it. But just giving it a sniff, it's going to be tough. And we'll talk about why it's going to be tough. But this very good tea friend on the Discord server said, thank you so much for my birthday tea. I received it. And then they said, I sampled the Chilai Black from this year. And he said, it's just like it was in the description. It isn't quite as fruity as last year, but it's still really, really good. And that's sort of where I am. When you reach this level of tea, when you get the tea that's like this good, or this level of tea, every single year, every single production is going to be completely different. And if you screw it up, it's really going to be different. If the weather's different, like I was doing the live stream with this year's Winter Pear Mountain. One of the reasons why Winter Pear Mountain is so good this year is actually because there was 2 days. One day was sunny, one day wasn't. You could taste the weather in it. And so I was able to get the sunny day. And so that's, it's a great tea. And but if it was on the cloudy day, or tasted like slightly drizzly, then you'd sort of be in trouble because it wouldn't be sort of as good. And so this year's Chilai Black, last year's Chilai Black was legendary. I probably will never have a black tea on the site or anything ever again that is that good. Last year's Chilai Black is absolutely legendary. Just the best. This year's is still really, really good, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best thing ever. So what does that mean? Well, basically that means that, people would buy last year's or would buy this year's tea expecting last year's tea, and then they'd be wildly disappointed. And then they'd be like, it's not the same, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's not the same. Anyways, thankfully, the people who usually are watching this, who will watch this, sort of understand that. And this tea is turning into that as well. The black tea, the Chilai black tea from last year kind of redefined what a black tea tastes like. See, that's not a good thing, because that tea was, you're probably never, ever going to find another black tea like that for the rest of your life. Like, it was just so good. Everything, like just a clean garden in a clean space at the right elevation. They got the right weather. Everything was just perfect. So You can define it as like the best ever, but if that's what you're expecting for black tea, you're gonna have a bad time. But that being said, this year's Tea Light Black is still okay, right? It's still okay. It's still like if you hadn't had last year's, you'd be like, wow, this is the best black tea ever. You know, so anyways, that's what we're doing right here. Because this tea, this 2020 Dongding tea cake, I actually still have about 600 or 700 grams of this tea. And I wanted to release it, but I couldn't release it. And the reason I couldn't release it was because there's so many people that want this tea, and I can't send to the vast majority of my customers right now. Over 50% of my customers are in the United States. And I can't send to them. But this tea is basically exactly the same idea as this tea. And it's really nice. The aftertaste on this is gorgeous. But I'm putting it side by side with this because I know for a fact that if I say it is the sister tea to this tea, if it doesn't have that coconut taste, then it's going to be, people are going to be disappointed. And right now, what I'm doing right now, actually, it's kind of funny, is what I'm doing right now is I'm going out and I'm trying to talk to all my connections about tea cakes. Because if I do have a brick and mortar shop or a wood and stone shop, if I have this wood and stone shop, I'm gonna need stuff to put on the walls, man. I'm gonna need like the tea cakes, I gotta have my tea cakes, and I don't know Chinese teas well enough to put Chinese tea cakes, so I'm gonna put Taiwanese tea cakes. So I've talked to all my connections with tea cake people and been like, what do you got? What do you got for me? Tea cakes? Come on, give me some tea cakes, because I'm gonna have to have that display case, right? That's what you do. Yeah. Now, what are these teas? It's this guy in sort of the Lugu area, and it's hilarious. He's sort of a normal tea seller, but he's got this weird streak of experimentation. And he knows a guy who presses tea. And it's so funny because I say, well, how does he press the tea? And he says, he doesn't let me see how he does it. So all the machines to press the teas, he's never seen them because the guy who presses the teas won't let him see it. But what he does is he does weird things. So like, for example, the Purple Bud tea cake, which is going to be on the site on Sunday, not very much, well, some of it, but I'll put maybe 1 or 2 tea cakes up. Anyways, the point is there was this patch of Purple Bud tea that he gets access to every once in a while. It's complicated. It's Taiwanese tea. And it was sort of a June pick. The leaves are a little bit higher like this. And he's like, I'm going to make some sheng. And he said, can I just have it? And it's like, we were just going to cut it back. Yeah, you can have it if you want it. So he cuts it back and he makes a sheng out of it. And then that was about 4 years ago. And then he presses it into cakes and he just leaves it. And I've been trying this tea like the last couple of years I've been trying this tea, trying to figure out, like, is it going to get good enough? This year it got good enough. So I bought it all. I bought the entire production run. I have 16 of these cakes. Each cake is 600 grams. There is none left anywhere in the world. I've got it all. And anyways, the point is he experiments a lot. So what are these tea cakes? I started with what are these tea cakes? I'm not selling that tea. None of these cakes are for sale at the moment anyways. These are teas that he made in the 20 teens and that he has been aging and that he's pressed recently. So he pressed them in the last couple of years. So this one was from 2020 and he pressed it in 2022. This one, he doesn't actually remember when it was from. So like we'll say 2018. And he pressed it at the same time as this tea cake. And so they are Dongding Oolong, sort of a mid-heavy roast that were aged for a little bit, and then they were pressed after that. So they were aged for a couple years, and then they were pressed, right? So they were aged for a couple years, and then they were pressed. And what that means is, well, what I'm figuring out what that means is, you have no idea what happened. You have no idea why it's happening. You cannot repeat it. It's just, it's just like what the hell is it? Like you just hope for the best. You press the tea, you let it sit for a while, and you hope for the best. And so this tea has been sitting. And what is the big difference between these two teas? This one got this crazy burst of coconut spice. It's such a unique flavor, like such a unique flavor, that it's amazing. It's, if you've had it, you know what I'm talking about. It's such a fascinating tea. It's sort of from the same, but whereas this one does coconut spice, this one is much more like a little bit aged Dongding Oolong. There's some nice fruits in it. There's some nice roastedness to it. It really is. It's nice. It's nice. But this bad boy is coconut, hints of roast, dark fruit, and caramel would be this one. For this one, I would say it would be dark fruit, caramel, hints of roast, hints of coconut. So it's in there. I'd probably get it because it's fun, and why not? I can stick it on the wall, stick it on the shelf, but it's not quite as special as I was hoping it would be. Can get your clay ceramic metal jar displays full of loose leaf oolong, aging loose leaf oolong. Yeah, I can do that. Right. So I can do the whole thing, but I don't actually have those. I don't actually have those, but I can find them and buy some, I guess. But I don't actually like the traditional way of aging teas. If it's clay, clay is great. But the other ways of aging the teas, I don't actually like it that much. I don't like the metallic taste that comes off of it. Yeah, it's still morning. Morning. And so this is the famous Dongding 2020 tea cake. And this one here is maybe a replacement. Maybe a replacement. And we were just talking. Oh, hey, there's somebody on. Hey, it's working. Somebody on Facebook. Hey, how's it going, Bertrand? I hope you're doing absolutely wonderfully well. And yeah, we're doing Facebook and Instagram and YouTube all at the same time. And excuse me. This one. Why is this one so? Well, because the tasting notes, right? Coconut, hints of roast, dark fruit, and caramel. This one is more dark fruit and caramel, hints of roast, hints of coconut. And we were just talking about, yeah, the coconut notes. Yeah. So we were just talking about how legendary teas that go viral, for lack of a better way of describing it. This one here, for example, went viral. This went viral, very, very viral. It went on Reddit. It had like, I don't know, like 50, 60 different messages, or maybe 30, 40. Anyways, whatever. Reddit is a dangerous place for tea vendors. So sometimes I go on there, but I tend not to search my own name. And I'm just like, good luck, everybody on Reddit. Good luck, have fun. But Reddit is not really a place for tea vendors. I remember, I haven't told the story for a while, but when I first started out, I got all this karma because I would post pictures of I used to do river tracing trips. So I would post these beautiful pictures of just in the rivers, in the mountains, where I'd be drinking tea and these various things. And at the start, people were like, "Wow, that's so amazing! Thanks for sharing it." And then people started getting angry, and they said, "You're making me feel bad. Stop posting." Okay. Why can you drink tea in places like that and I can't? And I was like, okay, you know what? Looks like Reddit culture is not where I should be. And so I don't really do much on Reddit. But it's an amazing place, right? It's just an amazing place. It's not a place for tea vendors. Reddit is not a place for tea vendors. And but somebody, a really nice person, posted this picture, or sorry, yeah, posted a picture. They had bought a huge amount of this 2020 tea cake, right? This 2020 tea cake, a huge amount of this, and they posted it on there, and they told a story about how I bought extra for them, and and it just went viral, and then they started getting all these emails like, do you have any more of this tea? Do you have any more of this tea? I'm like, I sold it out. I sold it all to that person. I sold it all to the person who started the thread, like I don't have any more left. And it's, it's a one of a kind tea, right? That coconut notes, as Mr. Jack here has mentioned it. That describes Reddit perfectly. Yeah, and hey, listen, it's not a value judgment. It's just somebody like me who's a vendor should not be there. Like I shouldn't be there. Like I'm not gonna get involved. There was I think there was drama the other week. Some I heard about it like third or fourth hand, and then I went on Reddit. And some vendor had a crash out on Reddit. And it was like a serious crash out. And anyways, I'm not gonna get involved with Reddit. Anyways, as you can tell, the chi of this tea is it's fun, right? Like it's both of these teas. It's not overpowering, and it's kind of fun. I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't even say it's tea drunk, not at all. But the energy is nice and uplifting. It's nice. And I can't even imagine you crashing out. Well, yeah. I mean, the guy who was there, he was a little bit younger, right? Who was crashing out. He was a little bit younger. So, and he seemed like he came from, anyways, I don't want to talk about it. But the point is that for me crashing out, if I ever did crash out, it would be really big, right? And I don't think I could, because I think they're inherent in the crashing out is hurting other people, and at this point in my life, that's just not a thing. Like it's just not a thing. If I was attacked and I got really angry, I would attack the person back. Maybe I would inadvertently hurt. Well, maybe advertently hurt them, but it wouldn't be a generalized thing, right? It wouldn't be like, oh, you're all bad or whatever. No. But anyways, the point is, I love tea people. It's amazing. I can't see myself crashing out either. Do you ever post on the old tea forums, tea chat, tea forum, etc.? No, I haven't been on any of those in years and years and years. I found those ones to be Reddit on steroids. And especially when I was first starting out, when I first started out, I went to a lot of the tea forums. It was like, hey, how's it going? I'm doing this now. And the people there, you want to talk about gatekeeping? I was just like, my experiences with the tea forums were not good. And again, no value judgment, right? If you want a place to trash everything about everything, if you're in a bad mood, you want to go vent, go do it. The internet is for that. Go do it, right? Like that's a place. People who would go to those places would be expecting rants and these types of things. No problem. Go for it, right? Just it would be amazing for you to have that space. I have a problem if people do it in a more public space or a place where it's not appropriate. I don't have a problem with them venting. I have a problem with the space, the right space. And so I've stayed away from them for years and years and years. Built up some stresses. Not lasted a while. Knock on wood. Like with all the tariff stuff and everything, the sanctions on the American consumer. I can get my angst across without being offensive in general. So it's not a big deal. And I've been planning for this for years, right? Literally years I've been planning for this exact thing to happen. T-Forum people are insane, somehow more elitist than Reddit. Exactly, right? Excuse me. No value judgment, right? No value judgment. It's your forum. You want to be a gatekeeping elitist. I won't finish the sentence. Go for it, right? That's awesome. It's your space. I have nothing against that. And, newbies or noobs, I guess, figure that out pretty fast, don't they? They get into that situation and they're like, how should I brew an oolong? and then the question is, you just see their heads go, from which vendor? Like anyways, again, no value judgment. Who knows? Maybe when I'm older, I'll start up a forum and do the same thing. But let's get back to the tea. Let's get back to the tea. So what do we have here? Hopefully you can sort of see it. I guess you can't really sort of see it. I'm washing my glass cups. You can't really see it. Now, I think what made this tea coconutty was a secondary roast. And I think what he has done is he has roasted this tea a secondary time. This tea, I think, is the original. It hasn't been roasted a second time. And I think this one was made, it was roasted, and then it was roasted again just before they pressed it. And so that's where the coconutness comes out. Oh, and it's so strong. It's such a beautiful flavor, especially as it cools down. Whereas this one, you can see just by looking at the color of the liqueur, this one's lighter. This one's darker. This one's lighter. And so you can tell just from looking at it that it just doesn't quite have the roast at that level. And I think that's where the coconut comes from. I think that is where the coconut comes from. And this one's really cheap. Like really cheap. Like really cheap. I'm thinking about saying the number. Anyways, it's really cheap. And the reason it's really cheap is because my buddy's like, listen, I've got this one. He sent me the sample. I'm like, how much is it? And he says, it's really cheap because it didn't get the really aged taste going through it. And when he's talking about aged taste, a lot of this too, remember when they're pressing the cakes, what do you do when you press a cake? You actually add water to it and then you dry it out again, but you get it moving. So you're hoping to kind of do like a show thing, like increase the generalized taste of the age in this tea. And so that didn't really happen with this one. It sort of happened with this one, but it didn't really happen with this one. So he's sort of like, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It's still a decent tea. I'll give you a really good price for it if you want it. So for me not to buy it is just kind of crazy. But this is like a legendary tea. This is not going to be, this is just not something that You can't replace this. Like, is it rare for a note like coconut to be in oolongs? Absolutely. Extraordinarily rare. Extraordinarily rare. In fact, there's been a couple times where you get a coconut note in like this has a coconut aftertaste, whereas this is just like full on coconut up front. There are a couple times when you will get a coconut note, but it's only from, I've only tasted them from mutza, charcoal roasted mutzas from like the mid 90s. So when you're looking at a mid 90s charcoal roasted mutza, then you're going to be able to get beautiful wafting a coconut roast. Like this on a tea this young, never. Right? Never happened. It's literally never happened. And so that's why people were so enjoyed it so much, is because the coconuts also were so strong, like just blast, just an absolute blast of coconut. I mean, look at this. It's already, what is it? It's already November. I'm sitting on my back porch. It's not even fully sunny. It's partly cloudy, and I'm still sweating. It's just, I'm looking forward to getting sort of a shop so we can be able to pull this off, to be able to do this together, sort of in a space. Although, I mean, let's face it. Look at that backdrop. It's just so beautiful. Anyways, this tea is extraordinarily cheap for what it is, and I probably will just get some to stick on the shelf and see what it does with age. How's the new Pear Mountain this season? Need to restock on mountain oolongs. The winter Pear Mountain this year is exceptional. Last year is a little washed out. Last year's Pear Mountain was a little bit washed out. This year, most of October was really dry and sunny and hot. I highly recommend this year's Pear Mountain. Last year's was good, was okay. This year's is better. It's exceptional. It's very good. Is my Wi-Fi bad, or is it because he's streaming on 4 platforms? Laggy for me too. Oh no. Oh, that sucks. I'm not noticing anything on my end. Always enjoy November weather, at least in central Taiwan. Well, let's see. So, yeah, you are, okay, I canceled the Facebook. I canceled the Facebook there. So hopefully that helps out. And no offense to Facebook, but that's just sort of an experiment right now. November weather, October is still a little hot. November weather is usually really, really good. Early December weather is usually really good. This year we've been getting scoops of typhoons coming through. And so this November, late October, November has been really, really wet, which does not bode well for the Alishan picking of winter oolongs. It does not bode well. But it worked out really, really, really well for the Chilai Mountain stuff and the high mountain stuff, Pear Mountain, Chilai Mountain, that type of stuff. The higher stuff, it worked really, really well for them, like really well. But it's not looking so good for the lower elevation stuff, which picks in November. Like, I really want the fresh Firefly. I want the fresh Firefly Alishan back in the shop. And I'm hoping that it turns out okay. Hey, Alishan Gaba is back. It'll be back on Sunday. It's mostly fine. Going to try that Pear Mountain sample right now. Well, there you go. Is it going to stop you from sleeping? If it stops you from sleeping, don't drink it. I mean, but it's really good. But, you know, like, any special pick suggestions from your stock? Open to try new stuff. Dong Ding Oolong was really a blast to discover. I get why it's highlighted on the website. Yes. So the Dong Ding Oolong will be very good. If you have the Chilai Mountain Black is just sort of a really, really good tea. If you want a cheaper daily drinker, the Jade Fall is really, really good this year. The Jade Fall is really, really good at a really good price. On Sunday, the Alishan Gaba is going to be released. This year's Alishan Gaba, and the Alishan Gaba is really, really good this year. Like it's quite nice. So the Alishan Gaba, you can try the Alishan Gaba. That'll be released on Sunday. On Sunday, there is the Purple Bud Sheng. Well, I'll just release a bunch of like 25 grams of that. There will be the Alishan Gaba. There will be the Winter Pear Mountain, and then there will be the Chilai Winter, the Alpine Winter, which is a really nice sort of smooth, beautiful tea. If you want to try a good red oolong right now, the Alpine Honey Red Oolong is really nice. It's really nice. And the Louis Red, of course. I don't know what there's like 50 teas on the site. It just sort of depends on what you would like to try. Any new green teas to restock? No green teas at the moment. I'm going to talk to my friends in Taipei, but it's just a big problem in the sense that right now, for me to get teas that I can't keep for 6 months, and I can't keep the green teas for 6 months. I just can't do it. I won't be those people who are like, oh, green tea's on sale, after a year. No. I buy the fresh green tea. If you like green tea, you buy it when it's there, because after 3 or 4 months, it just turns gray and it's no good. So I don't do that. I don't do the green teas. And right now, because I've lost 50, 60% of my clientele, I just can't buy those types of teas. The greenish oolongs, no problem, right? They'll last a year, 18 months. If you store them correctly, they'll be fine. But the green teas, 3-4 months. So unfortunately, I don't have green teas. CY Chen Dong Ding was fantastic. I missed that one. I still got a little bit left. If you want some, let me know. Hopefully, I'll see him this weekend. The tea show started today. It's actually starting like literally right now. I think it starts at 11 a.m. or at 10:30 a.m. So the tea show in Taipei is starting right now. So hopefully I'll see CY Chen up in Taipei and get his spring stuff or whatever's left of whatever he's got. So I'll get some of his teas on Sunday or Monday. Yeah, right on. Okay. Do you have any cultivar you gravitate to personally when processed as a red oolong? Chin oolong, absolutely. That's the one. Chin oolong is the best red oolong cultivar, for sure. I don't actually like the Jintren. It gets a little starchy when you do a red oolong with it, so it gets a little starchy. And sometimes the Luye, the Daye oolong, like the big leaf oolong, which is a Chin offshoot, is okay. But it's mostly, it's better done as a black tea. But Chin, 100%, all the way, Chin oolong. Yes, that would be awesome. The Deepwater oolong was quite nice, to be honest. Good price. Yes. Well, what did I start with? What did I talk about in the middle? It's exactly this thing. The original Deepwater oolong was exceptional. It was amazing. And I tried to do it again, and I couldn't quite do it. Like I made it myself, and so it's there, it's around there, but in the back end, it's not quite as smooth and as sweet as the original one was. And so I made it because I made it myself. It's a great price, and it really is. It's a I'd say probably one of the best value teas we have on the site, just because of the quality and the price on it, and. But that's the thing, you're never really going to get the best. Like I get this all the time, right? Somebody will send me an email and said, one time I had this one tea that tasted like peaches dipped in chocolate, roasted over a hickory fire with a dabble of honey and on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just like, no matter what I have, it will never live up to your memory of that tea. It just never happened. And so when I have the same tea year after year, with when people have that idea, I really have to be very careful on how I present it, because I don't want to piss people off. It's tough. It is. It's tough. But the Deepwater Oolong is a good example of that. This tea is a good example of that. I'll probably get some of this because the price is right. And eventually I will sort of release whatever I've got left of this tea eventually. Do you still have that relationship with the dude that grew the hybrid Ruby White? Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that is only able to be grown because it's Mingjian. It's a lower elevation. It gets stinking hot, and you do not want stinking hot Ruby 18 white tea. You do not want stinking hot Ruby 18 white tea. So he'll probably be picking that tea sort of, my guess is at the end of this month, the end of November. And so he'll be picking it sort of around there, making that tea then. But he can't make that tea. He only makes like really small batches of it, and he can't make that tea when it's hot. You just can't do it. That's a big no. It's a big no. Yeah, Ruby 18 white tea in a hot weather environment is not what you want. You want it made basically in January. That's when you want that particular tea made. And so he'll make it then. He's an artist. Yes, absolutely he is. And I've got this idea for the book. So I'm writing the book. I've got a couple chapters done, or not done, but like sort of written out. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to write stories about the people who make the tea. And then I'm going to sell the book with the tea. And so when you order the book, you get the book. It'll be a nice book with pictures and whatever else, theoretically, maybe. Who knows, right? Hopefully. And then I will sell I don't know, do people still do Kickstarters? Because it'd be perfect for Kickstarter. But I would write the book, and then you would get a little bit of the tea from each person in the book. So basically the idea of the book would be start sort of with a description of the Nantou Tea Show, move on to how I got into tea, which I might even just take right out, talk about what the tea industry is like right now, and the yin yang, the yin yang of the tea industry, the older generation versus the newer generation, and how they're helping each other and hurting each other. And then go and tell the stories of the actual people that are that are actually making the teas. And then I would sell the book with bits of tea. Like, so every like the last 4 or 5 chapters would be the people making the tea and their stories. And then I would actually sell the book with like 10, 25 grams of the actual people. So when you're reading the story about how they do the tea, you can sit there and you can drink the tea as it happens. And I don't know, do people still do Kickstarter? Because that would be perfect, right? My problem is that I can't do all that crap by myself, like format a book and take the pictures and things like that. And I don't know how well it'll sell. It'll just be sort of a fun project. So what do? Do I like go and like take the pictures and do like? But if there was a Kickstarter that could fund it, then there we go. So I think, I don't know. Anyways, Kickstarter is still a thing for sure. Well, you know what? Maybe that's something that I should do as a wintertime project. Because I've already got my 4 or 5 guys lined up. I've already talked to them. I'm like, I'm going to write this book. I want to put your story in it. So that's easy to do. And then to be able to send, I could ask them even. I could be like, listen, like, what type of tea do you want to send out there? And you can choose the tea that gets sent out when people read about your story. Anyways, if anybody is a Kickstarter consultant, then get in touch with me. But I think it'd be really fun, right, to sell the book, the equivalent of a coffee table book, I guess. And then it would be, I'd have to find an elegant way to somehow attach the tea actually into the book somehow. But it'd be pretty cool, for sure. Anyways, I think that's about it for now. What do we do today? Basically, what we talked about was different teas at different years have different tastes. Here we've got the legendary 2020 coconut tea cake. This one here is like a 2018 Dongding tea cake, which is interesting. It's super interesting, right? It's a super interesting tea. It's got coconut in the aftertaste, but not in the upfront. It's at a great price. So I'll probably get some as well, but it's not the same. It's not the same. But yeah, last call for questions about anything. Wondering how you might feel about the Tea and Beverage Research Station pushing flavor wheels for associated Taiwanese tea categories. They even have one for orange tea now. Yeah, it's funny. I was at the tea show and I was like, does anybody have orange tea? And everybody just looked at me like, they are pushing the orange tea stuff. The flavor wheels. I don't have a strong opinion about the flavor wheels in the context of both the ability to place teas where they should be. I also find it is a little bit gatekeeping, like, like the Ruby 18 white, for example. We were talking about the hybrid white. How would that fit in the flavor wheel? And people would say this isn't Ruby 18. So they use that, and that's the nature of that place, right? They are categorizing the different teas. I think for people maybe new into it, okay, but oftentimes in the flavor wheels, it's sort of like Mayleaf tasting notes. Like a lot of the things in there are not really what you're going to get, or they are, they might go really deep into it, like instead of staying, like a little bit peachy, they'll be like, a white peach warmed in a warm April day, touched by frost with a touch of breeze, things like that. And it's like, but I don't particularly have a value judgment on that. I don't say that that's 100% right and 100% wrong. It's just not a really big part of what I do. So I've never included the flavor wheels in anything that I do. And I don't actually have a value judgment placed on that. But for me, in the way I do things, I do go more by feel. I'm sure people have realized that by now. And so I don't have a feeling about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with flavor wheels. Absolutely not. Certainly people who are starting to get into it. But once you get into the flavor wheels as well, you start getting into gatekeeping and, I want to talk about this tea. And then if people have it in the context of the flavor wheel, if you can't speak that language, then you can't talk. People tend to get into the flavor wheel language, which I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, I guess that's the answer to that long question. I probably won't use them. But if you were, say, tasked by the government to come up with a standardized way of tasting, you just earned your taxes theft money. You just did. And I think it can help people, right? I think it can help people for sure. But there's a very unsatisfactory answer to your question about flavor wheels. Anyways, I think that's about it for now. Yes, you have a good one as well. Any last call for questions? If anybody makes it this far, if you want to, if it's your birthday's coming up and you want a gift, then let me know. The gifts are getting through okay. The gifts seem to be getting through quite well. And I'll probably buy a little bit of this, although I wish it was as good as this. But what are you going to do? Legendary's teas will just have to stay legendary. Anyways, wherever you are, I certainly hope you sleep well. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your night. Sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.